Have you ever felt invisible, even in a room full of people who should care? There's a quiet pain in children who grow up unnoticed. They don't cry the loudest. They don't demand attention. They just shrink, and that instinct often carries into adulthood. They enter rooms and look for corners. They enter relationships wondering if they're too much. They succeed but brace for their joy to be ignored because invisibility feels familiar. Psychologists call this an internalized neglect imprint. A child ignored repeatedly learns that asking for love or attention is wrong, even burdensome. Their brain wires itself to expect dismissal, and they learn to silence themselves before anyone does. Imagine a child tugging lightly at a parent's sleeve, hoping for even the smallest glance. When nothing comes, it fractures more than the moment. It begins shaping a life. But what really happens inside the mind of a child who grows up unseen? Now we dives into the psychology behind the silence. Being ignored may seem harmless, but emotional neglect is a deep wound. A child doesn't just want connection, they depend on it. Safety, stimulation, and connection form the pillars of development. And connection is what tells a child, you exist, you matter. John, founder of attachment theory, said consistent acknowledgement builds trust, the blueprint for future relationships. Without it, children internalize dangerous beliefs. I'm not important, my needs are a burden. Repeated dismissal triggers the brain's stress response. Cortisol floods the system, rewiring the nervous system to expect rejection. Anxiety becomes baseline. Emotional regulation falters. Yet, outwardly, they may just look like a quiet kid. They stop asking questions. They stop showing excitement. They dim their light before anyone else can. Emotional neglect leaves invisible scars that often manifest decades later. So how does this hidden wound follow someone into adulthood? Now we uncovers the long-term patterns of the unseen child. The ignored child doesn't simply grow up. They carry their silence like a shadow. Some become perfectionists, chasing approval they never received. Some become people pleasers, terrified of losing connection. Some become fiercely independent, never relying on anyone. Others stop trying altogether, thinking, if no one cares, why bother? Imagine being 8, running home with a drawing, showing it, and being ignored every single time. Eventually, you stop sharing joy altogether. That lesson lingers into adulthood, making even personal successes feel unworthy. Studies show emotional neglect correlates strongly with chronic loneliness. Not absence of people, but absence of acknowledgement. Adults may have friends, family, or partners, yet feel empty inside. But why is healing from this invisible trauma so hard, yet possible? Now we reveals the hidden resilience inside every ignored child. The paradox: ignored children often become highly empathetic adults. They notice small shifts in tone, subtle emotions, and unspoken needs because their survival depended on it. Yet this gift has a cost. They tune in to everyone else, muting themselves. Their identity remains blurry because no one mirrored their emotions back. Validation becomes a lifelong hunger, not vanity, but necessity. Still, many seek healing. They journal, read, attend therapy, and reflect. They are trying to break the silence. And the brain, remarkably, can adapt. Each moment of healthy connection rewrites old neural patterns. Healing isn't dramatic, it's whisper soft. My feelings matter. I deserve acknowledgement. These tiny acts are revolutions, slowly undoing decades of silence. So how does an unseen child reclaim their visibility and identity? Now we complete the journey towards self-recognition and empowerment. Healing doesn't erase the past, it illuminates it. An ignored child who becomes an adult and chooses to heal breaks generational cycles. They become the friend who listens deeply, the partner who understands gently, the parent who says, I see you. They transform pain into wisdom, invisibility into empathy, silence into strength. If you were that child, sitting alone, waiting to be noticed, Hear this. You mattered then, you matter now. Your presence is not a burden. Your voice is not noise. Your needs are real. Dark psychology shows us that trauma shapes but does not define. Silence can wound, but breaking it creates insight, empathy, and resilience. The adult who is ignored often becomes the one who refuses to ignore others, and in that brave choice they discover a profound truth. You were never invisible. You were simply waiting to be seen.
I'm here for you.
The wounds of neglect run deep, but so does the strength to rise from them. Are you ready to finally see yourself?